Not to be confused with the Great Greg. Sorry.
Welcome to our game again. We're in our Call of Cthulhu Down Darker Trails / a little bit of Deadlands game. The party has rejoined back into the lovely town of Coldwater, and we shall begin. It is Wednesday, May 23rd, early morning. Oh, okay. You disappeared there briefly, Vance.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to set up my back screen, so you didn't see the cat walking back and forth.
In the far future, people will wonder, oh, pretty cat, what's the cat's name?
Damn cat.
If anybody wonders why I keep munching on Blue Diamond Bold
Yep, really good, like those.
almonds. Very yummy. Okay, so it is morning. People are waking up. Let's see.
First things first, probably breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, unless there is a specific whatever, I will assume during wake-ups at the various boarding houses, what have you, or if you're staying, like the doctor is staying, in a room in an office, one wakes up and walks to one of the 2 or 3 local cafes / dining establishments. Sometimes one would go to a boarding house that is known to have a particularly good breakfast or what have you. But unless you're doing something specific, part of the wake up is, I assume, consume food.
Right. I figured that just for the people that are at the same one that I'm at, we can then discuss what we want to do and then meet with the others and then discuss with them.
True enough. Let's see here and recapitulate that. I believe. Close that. Okay. Oh. Walt and Gustav, you guys are at. How many heck are you guys staying at?
Am I at 38?
In May's boarding house, right?
Is that 34?
That is 34. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe. Chris, you're staying at the Coldwater Cafe and Boarding House, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's plot 28, if you're on. Those are the 2 boarding houses in the town.
28? Where the hell is 28? Oh, there's 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was staying at. I don't remember if I was staying at 28 or 34.
I think you were at 28.
Was I?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think you were too, Vance.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Well, in that case, I will discuss with Arnett what we should do. While you were there, did it seem like a good idea for us to still find someone to blow the mine?
I think everything's covered there with the door that Gustav had placed on, and then the town folk are keeping an eye on it. I think we're, for right now, it's pretty much done with that place. At least I want to be done with that place.
All right. Do we get everything done at that place?
Yes, sir.
yeah, I mean, you recall Gustav saying last night that, all the whole spiel with the 3 stones and the other entrance to the mine, or at least the other shaft that's going into the hill, that is the same hill that
Hmm.
the mine that you were in is in. Probably the better way of referencing that. You don't necessarily know that that other entry actually entered the Craven mine or whether it was to something else.
And right now, I don't aim to find out.
Um, and so,
Was
yeah,
was it sealed up at least?
It looked
um,
it. There was, if I remember correctly, there was rubble in it, and it looks like the masons had taken care of it
Okay.
before we even got there. Even good old Dr. Elks, Mr. Elks, couldn't remember it, but he seemed to indicate that it was sealed, and I trust him. He seems to be of a good sort, and especially with what he's seen and what we presented to that poor town.
Was everything taken care of for the finalization of the seal inside the mine?
ew, that was not taken care of. Well,
I had the copper nail. I would have got one of the things if I was there. I would have gone in, reaffixed the piece of hair to a non-etched portion of that plate. That was on my list of things to do. I will let you decide whether I did it or not.
let's see here. Well, why don't we? No, that's reasonable. That was definitely on the list. Um, hmm. Well, let's recon that a little bit because that's still a potential important step. So
Yes.
let's harps play wiggle 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 of the sea.
And sadly, none of us had actually mentioned that when you weren't here.
Right.
Yeah.
So we probably need to correct that. So
Previously on.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, was it the Nutsack Nine, whatever it was? You guys got to come up with a better name still.
There's a band name, the Nutsack Nine.
So you and Gustav had been you reconnoitered the hill, Mesa, whatever you want to call it, that the Craven mine was in, and you did find the three stones and a pretty collapsed section of an entrance into the hill. The section that was collapsed it wasn't just gigantic boulders. It was lots of little stuff, and it clearly happened many years ago, to the point where a lot of dust and some soil has packed in. So at casual glance, it looked like just a side of a hill, maybe even some weeds and such growing out of it. You kind of gave some observation insofar as trying to determine whether some air could be coming through there. But again, without having really kind of picked around with it, you weren't able to determine one way or the other. In the conversation with Mr. Elks, he did say that it was sealed according to the records he looked up. But as I mentioned in sort of a prelude, sealed is a very ambiguous word right now. Was it sealed as in, well, we collapsed, we pulled out some timbers and it all collapsed nicely, and we thought, okay, that is sealed? Or were some rituals, blah blah blah, conducted to hocus pocusy seal it? You did not get the impression necessarily that was the case. It was more sealed as in collapsed so that standard people would not enter and poke around. But that discussion reminded you, oh, that's right, Copper Nail. You need to go and firm up that symbol, which Mr. Alex provided a name, the John D symbol. And you head your way back up to the mine. Now, at this point, the most of the activity of the mine has quieted down. It does appear as though the body's been removed from the pit. Yay. There is a carpenter. Jot down his name somewhere. Sure. Gustav wrote his down. Anyway, there was a trusted carpenter who is installing a door, in effect, kind of refirming up the door. You also found out that the previous owners before the Craven is the Sheckler is the name that you got. That's a little bit of a guess. It was not very clear in the ledger. It was, I don't want to say written poorly, but Mr. Elks had trouble being so. That's as close to the name as he could get. Shuckman. There you go, Mr. Shuckman. That's the guy who's opening up the door. And he's not done with it, so you can kind of just sort of step around him, kind of thing. And you will re-enter the mine with, I assume, some sort of lighting?
Yeah, so I'll use. I'll grab the lantern from Gustav.
Okay, yeah. He seems to have several, I think. You re-enter the mine. Now, if you recall before, shaft goes down a good, 40, 50 feet, and then kind of has a T intersection to left and right, obviously. And you want to turn, your recollection for this kind of stuff is very good, so you want to turn right. And could you please roll me a idea roll?
85.
Yes.
I made it as a hard.
Okay, good. You continue close to where the sealed up section is, and again, you start feeling like there's maybe a little bit of another presence in the mine. The light that your lantern emits seems to get a little darker, not the inky attack darkness, right? But does seem to get a bit darker. And you hear a voice echo in the mine, and it says, "Can you spare a sip of whiskey?"
I happen to have a flask. Why not?
Okay. So what do you do?
take the flask out and look around, like offering the flask.
Okay, you take out the flask, and you're not really sure. You don't really see anything outside of it being slightly dimmer. But as you hold out the flask, you literally see the screw off cap quickly spin and pop open, and it's one of those style flasks that has a little hinge to keep the uh, uh, screw cap on, and you notice that the flask gets noticeably lighter, not entirely empty, but
Backwash.
it does get a bit lighter, and then pretty much the air seems to calm around you, and your lantern seems to cast its normal amount of light.
Yourself, drink bottle.
Do you continue?
Yes.
Okay. And you come up to the boarded up section. The symbol is still there. From your recollection, it looks like the blonde hair is roughly at least where it was before. I say it is a bit more precarious than when you very first saw it. Where it was. Right. So you had the symbol wheel. What it looks like now. The hair is draped kind of behind it like this, up against wood. Right. So it's kind of tucked behind the edges, and there's a hole right here that doesn't have any nail through it. And you get the feeling that you could probably drape the hair, kind of tuck it back a bit better, and then throw in another nail, kind of trapping the hair within the various nails of the.
And that is precisely what I will do.
Okay.
Tell me to make a dex roll.
No, this is not something that particularly tricky. The only thing I ask is, do you have a hammer?
I walk back out to the front of the carpenter and ask if I can borrow a hammer.
He looks
You
at
just
you.
use the butt of your gun.
Nah, one doesn't mar the tools of the trade that way.
He look. Surely, here you go. And he hands up
Be right back.
a rough cold drop forge hammer, and not sure what the hell you're doing with it, but that's okay.
One does not use a shooting iron as a hammer and iron.
Fucking
And
I
get
have
back into the mine. No lights getting darker this time around. Good. And you're back at the front, or you're back at the front. You're back at the boarded up section.
Yeah. So I will, basically secure the hair, making sure that the nail goes through a non-etched portion of the seal and make sure it is nice and tight against that board.
Okay. You make relatively short work of it, not too particularly tricky. Sort of a clink, clink, clink kind of deal, and you take a moment to kind of look at it, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll tug here and there, just kind of, and you're like, yeah, I think that's pretty solid, you think, and you feel pretty comfortable with that, and you head back out.
One of the other things that I wanted to do while going through the mine is, especially around the entrance, do I see any of the veins of what we now know ghost rock going through the walls? there, or are they just normal walls?
You see a fair amount of thin lines of quartz, but you don't see anything casting that particular blue hue that you saw in the pit.
Got it. Then that's all.
All right. I guess the only other thing that might occur to you is now that the pit has been largely cleaned out of the charnel that was in there.
Yeah. So does it? So, Mister, does it look like there is? What's the bottom of this thing look like?
You look down, and it turns out it's not even really a pit. It is a cone, and the cone, just kind of staring at it, you kind of look at it, the bottom of the cone is at a 45-degree angle. So the walls are at almost a perfect 45-degree slope.
That ain't natural.
Now you don't have any, let's say, surveying gear or anything along that line to
Yeah.
be hyper precise. It occurs to you could probably take a length of rope and stretch it across at its furthest diameter, and then maybe run a piece of rope from the edge down to the anti-tip of the cone, and maybe the dot could run some mathematical numbers to get you an idea whether how exacting was it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go that far. It just looks like someone or something used maybe one of these newfangled machines to create this hole,
But outside of
which
that,
would explain away why there isn't any debris. It could have just been carted off, vaporized, pulverized.
I mean, it's not too hard to imagine that something mechanical that made this maybe just turned the rubble purely into dust and was just blown off as dust, perhaps. That's right now your best guess.
Yeah.
When you thought about machines, you're like, maybe it was just blown off as dust, and therefore that's why we don't see anything. Is there anything else you want to try to follow up on?
That's it.
All right. Let's see here. And at that point, let's say you do some other kind of quick wrap up stuff. Maybe hand the preacher man a couple extra coin or something, just to for his efforts and such. But otherwise, you wrap up. Well, you take a look at the work that Jeff is doing on the door. It's a heavy door, right? And matter of fact, Mr. Shuckman comes up to you and says, "You're one of the ones that contracted me, right, to do this door." Mr. Elks provided hinges and a hasp and this lock. But what do you want me to do with the keys?
I'll take the keys.
Alrighty. The padlock, it's one of those big ass padlocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terribly complex, but it is what is commonly available back then, kind of thing. It is currently unlocked. So I suppose you
we lock it
once or twice just to double check.
Yeah.
If you unlock the lock, Jeff goes, well, when I'm done, I can line it up and lock it. You'll have the keys. That way it'll be locked up for you.
That'll do.
Alrighty. And
then How many keys are there? One or two?
There are two.
So one of the things on the before we ride off to Clearwater, obviously ride back into town, then I'll give Mr. Elks one of the keys to the mine.
Okay.
Just let him know. I think we're done here. I'll keep one of the keys just in case we go back. But I assume with the door, you and your brothers will do what you did when you sealed it up, when you closed it up the first time. Because if I remember correctly, there were Masonic symbols on the wood that got ripped off.
Well, those symbols are there for really just for notification to other members of the Brotherhood. They don't possess particularly any warding powers that like the one that we saw inside the mine. I had understood that at least you were contemplating that the door being built up there is more of a temporary solution. I suppose you plan to come back with somebody at some point in time to what's the term I read in paper? Seal the deal.
That is the plan.
All right. Well, I mean, we can try to keep an eye on it. Running a 24/7 operation, keep an eye on it is not
I don't
really
think
within
that's
our.
necessary, but just checking on it every so often to make sure the lock is still in place, the door is still in place. I think that's all needed until we come back.
That we can do. You all staying up in Coldwater, right? So if we need to send word,
Send it to the good Dr. Trout's office. We will get it.
all right. And he makes a couple notes in a big leather-bound ledger, and you notice that as he's writing them, yeah, give me a scan roll.
50%. Made it.
Made it.
Nothing
Okay.
special.
He's got sort of a very sort of sharp print. He doesn't write in cursive, but you do notice that as he's writing down notations, to at least the quick look that you had, it looks like pure gobbledygook.
Damn shorthand.
So
Got his own cipher.
Yeah. Well,
All
I'm
right.
not going to pry into a man's affairs, so just interesting.
all right, was there anything else that you might want to do?
No, just to head back. The rest of the information is to Vance because he doesn't know some of the stuff that I know right now.
Right. Okay. So we'll.
Sitting
And-
back at the breakfast table.
So go through all that. That's what we did. Now, the one thing that we did find interesting, Vance, is do you still have that piece of odd-looking quartz that you got out from the pit?
Oh yeah, the blue rock. Yep.
That is ghost rock.
That was a big pit of ghost rock.
Indeed. My concern is that if we actually blow the entrance, that if there's a vein of that stuff, well, I saw what Mr. Elks did to test it. It might be a little bit more destructive than we intended. However, when going through the mine, looking at the entrance, I didn't see anything like it, but that is something that we will want to consider when we go back to permanently close this mine.
I think the word you're looking for is it's extra explosular.
It might do an RUD, unrapid or rapid unplanned disassembly.
Well, you could always get somebody to brick and mortar it up. I mean, it's expensive, but
So what? You're made of money.
the vein that was in the pit was maybe 3 feet below the surface, and the vein. You don't know if the vein was running at whatever angle because you didn't dig into enough to get an idea of that. But
It's just an extra precaution that I think we'll want to take before just blowing things up, willy and or nilly.
once again, a qualified surveyor, probably
Yep.
a very good idea.
So, did they fill in the pit, or is the pit still?
That pit is the damnedest thing that I've ever seen. There wasn't any rubble to fill in. My belief is, and I didn't give them orders to the contrary to fill it in. They got the bodies out, and it's just a big old cone in the ground. I think that is something that we can possibly take care of when we get back. It might require something a little bit more exotic to deal with than just filling it in.
There are tailings from the Craven mine relatively nearby that could certainly be used to roughly fill in the pit. It wouldn't be solidly filled in. It would be just it'd be like throwing rocks into a wheelbarrow. Yeah, it's to sort of fill it up and make it as though nobody would notice. Yeah, that's lots
difficult.
of hours of work. That's a lot of hours of work.
Did you find out how much this blue rock is worth?
Not much.
The amount that I don't think anybody's actually made much of an inquiry either around town or just in general.
I think I asked, if I recall correctly, I asked Mr. Elks what he thought it was worth, and he said, nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah. You do know that it's starting to be used as an augmentation / new fuel for trains and such, because it does burn longer than coal, and it burns a bit hotter than coal. So it's therefore, even on sort of you don't know if this stuff can be refined or not, but evidently on just a sort of a harvest level, it would certainly be worth more than its weight in coal equivalents, but certainly, at least for now, not more than, say, its weight in gold or probably even silver.
Well, we're not talking a suitcase full of diamonds here.
Right.
Suitcase full of diamonds.
And I would also imagine that, just like anything, if you're near where raw material is harvested from, where you're at, it ain't worth much at all. If you were in Australia and there are no ghost rocks in Australia, it's probably worth a shit ton. So,
So our goal is to set up the mine, start establish trade with Australia and Ghost Rock, and retire rich.
So it's there's certainly that as well in the calculation, if you will. Let's see here.
No, my only question was if it was worth, something, then we could, pull more of it out, and that way we'd only have to fill in a little bit more, so that if you took more off the top, there'd be less to fill in.
Yeah, I'm not a miner. I couldn't tell you if that was feasible or not. Might be worth, once we get someone up here to collapse the mine entrance, have him take a look at that and see what he thinks.
Well, I got a lead on some miners. We just got to ride out to them. So I guess let's go
Go over to the doc's office and I can fill everyone in.
Yeah, let's see if everybody else shows up over the doc's office. We'll try the doc's office first. Tell his ass to get up.
All right. Meanwhile, since Walt is ignoring his chat messages, could you please give me an idea roll?
Sorry. You could say something easily. Pardon.
Could you turn up your mic a little bit, please?
Yeah. How's that?
A little better. What was the result?
Hard success.
Oh, okay. Concerns you. You've noticed that again. You woke up. I mean, in a way, you're relieved, but not a whole lot of relieved. You did not dream last night.
Dreams
Yeah,
real.
Gustav is a person with the sleeping issues, not me. So, I'd like to keep it that way, if you don't mind.
Playing the role of Gustav tonight is Walt Larrabee.
No, dude. Oh no! Send in the whatever, the stage backup. I like me like you sleep. All right, so yeah. Well, isn't this the didn't we both sleep poorly last time? So you're basically saying this is 2 data points in the wrong direction.
Yes. And at this point, any additional idea or no rolls, please roll at disadvantage.
What the? I gotta go see the doctor.
Well, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Look, that rhinoceros horn won't do what you think it does.
He just pisses off the rhinoceros.
No rhinoceroses were harmed in the creation of this episode.
Tiger wang and
Shark fin. Shark fin suit drunk out of a hollowed out rhinoceros horn.
So after breakfast,
That'll fix anything.
Chris and Vance, you're heading over to the doctor's office. Was that what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you two, get up from the little dining area. The dining area is kind of annoying, actually, at both of these boarding houses because there's a lot of walk-ins, so it's not like it's just a dining area for the people who are staying there, right? It's not like a bed and breakfast, right? That's kind of different. So, there are certainly some mornings where it's butts to elbows. It's darn near annoying, but food's decent enough. So you head over to the docks, and door's closed.
Bang on the door.
We'll kick it in.
Okay. You clang on the door.
What time is it?
No answer.
Pick up some small rocks and throw them at the window.
Okay. That was really not much of a habit back in the 1800s. Glass was not very good back then.
Okay. So let's see. We're at at the doctor's office where we expect him to be.
Yeah, matter of fact, that's where he told you he was heading off last night when wrapped up at the jam.
Marshall, I'm going to send you a chat message real quick.
I'm trying to remember if this one had a back door.
Yes, it does.
I will try the back door.
Okay. You walk around back and more sort of tap.
Well, I want to check the door first.
Check the door. Okay.
Kind
it is locked.
How locked is it?
No, that's fair enough. It's not like any of these doors are vault-like. So why don't you give me a strength roll?
Marshall, I just sent you a message, a text, chat.
$16 out of.
I assume curtains would have been drawn.
No, I don't think so because of timing.
It is a hard, not a critical success.
Might be more interesting.
Yeah, I think the latter. Yeah. So you made a hard success, was that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of push the door kind of deeper into its hinges, right? And kind of give the door a little like that, and the door just kind of gives just enough where the bolt just kind of passes by the hole that it goes into. It's not reinforced with a metal plate or anything. So you manage to actually open up the door without even really, at least as far as you can tell, damaging the door, which is nice.
Great locks I got.
Well, it's what the doctor has that you're
Right.
filling in for.
You know, for the most part, these kind of doors, again, are really meant to, provide privacy. Anybody would hear that, kind of thing. With the style of windows and such, if anybody wants to get into virtually any building outside the two banks, a rock will get you into almost anybody's building. Right? So having a super vaulty door doesn't make any sense. It's cheaper for somebody to force the door than it is to replace the glass. So and you get in. First thing that strikes you is there's a smell of soot in the air, and you know the smell. It's happened to you occasionally, where hurricane lantern was left on or was lit for too long, and the wick is burnt all the way out, leaving that sort of
Yeah.
cold.
Not like I'm going to find soot on a windowsill is what I was thinking.
So somebody's left a hurricane lantern basically on all evening long.
Yeah, somebody got a little too drunk and forgot to turn his light out.
Yeah.
All right.
Also
Well,
called Tuesday.
Since it's on the ground floor, I know that there's the waiting room and then the room where we had the bodies.
Yeah. Sort of the office / examining room.
Yeah, the examining room.
I thought we dropped the bodies off to the Undertaker.
Excuse me. Let me explain my thought process here.
Okay.
When last we were in that room, I left a half a bottle of whiskey.
True.
I'm going to that room to grab said bottle of whiskey. Then I will go to the front, let him in, and we will sit in the waiting room and smoke and have a shot until the doc catches the sound of us and our cigarette smoke drifting up to him to rouse him.
So you head
I'm not going to go up the stairs and get shot.
You head into the examining room / I don't necessarily want to call it an office, but it's there's a table there with instrumentation,
An exam room,
and apothecarial style drugs, some laudanum, lots of things to knock people out, right? And some alcohol, and that's about it. A couple of herbs and such like that you're like, I don't know, it's a witch doctory stuff, and a lot of really cruel looking tools of the trade, bone saws and things like that.
I call them implements.
It's right there, implements. But you do indeed find your bottle. It is, from what you recall, not any further consumed. Head back into the hallway with the lead sort of ventrally along the building. And there's a waiting room, again, with a desk, one of those writing desks with the little slidey up thing, a couple of cabinets up on the walls. It serves more than just a waiting room, kind of, as with many rooms in houses at the time. It's sort of it does lots of different things. And you do see Christopher sort of standing patiently at the front door, but you also notice the good doctor is on the ground behind the desk. He's slumped over onto the ground.
Uh-oh.
That was a heavy night drinking.
Put the bottle down and check for a pulse. Or check to see if he's breathing. Do I see his back moving and like his chest is rising?
Say pulse and such. Well, I don't know. You got.
I have medicine.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a
first aid?
Yeah, first aid roll.
Yeah. Where is my first aid?
You're at
There
40.
it is. 40. 19.
19. Excellent. He is breathing. Seems a bit shallow to you. His body temperature seems a little clammy. This is not a drunk pass out. You've seen that enough.
Is it something he ate? All right. I will quickly run over and
Have you let
unlock
me
the
in,
door.
Christopher? Have you let me in, Vance?
Yeah, I will go over and unlock the door, and I will have him help me carry the good doctor upstairs, or at least into the examining room.
Okay. You all do that. At this point, Walt, you're not too far behind everybody else. You've
Yeah.
had a sort of a slightly contemplative breakfast, kind of going, what's going on? And yeah, you're right. It definitely occurs to you, I should probably go see the doc.
He just sent you a quick note there, Marshall.
And it's not about the burning when he pees. That
No.
means next Thursday.
Though that's also on the agenda.
So you don't necessarily see Christopher enter the doctor's office, but about just a handful of minutes later, you see that the doctor's office door is open, and I assume you head in. Oh, hold on. Walt, that message won't make any sense to you.
When I have privacy. That kind of works.
It kind of works, yeah.
So is that sent to the wrong person?
Yes.
Okay. I bet the answer's still going to be when they have privacy.
Okay. Meanwhile, Vance and Chris, you don't so much help the doctor up. He's kind of a, 150-pound bag of wet potatoes. Sure, we'll go with that. It's an analogy. And you bring him into the examining room and kind of hoist him up like that. And somewhat to your kind of shock or what have you, the doctor almost immediately sort of snaps to, right as he's laid down onto the examining table.
All right, don't need the smelling salts. Doc, you all right?
Hey, what are you fellas doing here?
Uh,
In for the night?
Getting our grope on.
We came to meet you and glad you slumped over a desk.
I had the most amazing dream, and you were there, and you were there. Where's Toto?
Sounds like you had a time of extreme magnitude.
Marshall, do I recall anything about what happened for the last 8, 9, 10 hours?
You remember coming into the office and
putting my feet up on the table and reading a book.
Yeah, you don't even remember what you were reading. Something about something. But you don't particularly even remember what you were reading there.
Perhaps it was the physician's desk reference. That's a good thing to make one go to sleep.
Well, we found you no, he wasn't slumped on the desk. He was slumped on the floor. We found you on the floor in the front area where the desk would be. I had actually let myself in through the back and was gonna figured the two of us were gonna have a drink. You might need a swig of this.
How do I feel?
Not too bad.
I feel well rested. Check this out. I can make my hands disappear. Sorry. 4-year-old Zoom humor. Oh, you typing?
I am typing.
Oh, that can't be good.
So we found you unconscious on the floor.
Oh, yeah. I recall
And-
I was gonna settle down. I was doing a little reading. Can't for the life of me remember what I was reading.
As soon as we set you down, you woke up.
Am I feeling okay? Yeah, you're gonna let me know. Do I feel well enough to get up and go downstairs?
You are downstairs.
Yeah, you're downstairs.
Or-
You're in the other doctor's
Examination room.
Yeah.
Okay. Where the
At
whore
this
died? You
point-
didn't put me on the table. Oh, this is the one where the whore died.
The one with the leg straps and. At this point, you hear footsteps coming in to the waiting room.
I will turn and go to the door to announce that the doctor's not seeing anyone yet. He will be open at 11, and I'm sure if I notice who it is coming in, I'll probably stop halfway through it.
Yeah, you do. It's Mr. Larrabee.
He looks a little poorly.
Yeah.
Morning, Walt.
Walt looks a little off.
Kerfuffled.
Where?
Hair's a
Kerfuffled.
little weirdly messed up, more than usual.
What do you mean more than usual? Who's scruffy looking?
He's got his sexy come hither look is gone.
It's the beware projectile vomit look now.
That's right.
No, just kidding. I don't feel that bad. But okay, I come in and I see. I guess the doctor's looking a little disheveled, and I probably get the sense I'm like, what's going on?
Well, we found the doc on the floor, and he just woke up.
Oh,
Good
Walt,
night, huh, Doc?
Walt, did you wait for Gustav?
I kind of thought he was just gonna not really play a part in this game tonight.
Okay.
So no,
Yeah,
I did not.
He's probably trying to sleep in right now.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
If we ride out, we can always pick him up.
Right. Okay, fair enough.
Well, we came over to see the doc and found the doc on the floor. And
Well, it is Tuesday.
our goal was to talk to everybody.
So I'm gonna go back in the office, I suppose, the front office, and scoop up the book off the floor. I guess it's there.
I was going to see if we wanted to ride out to meet up with these miners to hire them to blow the mine.
Sounds like a good idea.
Doctor, you do find a book. It's kind of on the ground near where evidently you passed out. And it is the Hoyle's book of games and cards.
Okay. I think I've got, if I remember right, if I'm not too scatterbrained, I'm supposed to go. I wanted to go check out the Constitution and the amendments. Is that something I still remember?
Yeah. You were reading through your uncle, one of your uncle's, like the second letter you received from him recently.
Yeah, I feel like it was So I think one of the letters had like some sort of maybe a cipher, and then another letter told me that I might want to look in the Constitution as a document I could use to sort of decipher the cipher.
Was your uncle Nick Cage?
No comment.
Maybe that's his daddy.
So, the plan is to go back to the mine today.
No,
Well, we
don't
need-
get into the mine. There's another mine that some miners work at. and I was just going to ride out to them to see if I could hire one of them to come all the way back to the other mine to help us collapse it. The entrance, that is.
So I got a couple things I was looking to do. I haven't gotten a chance to because of some patience, but I wanted to. I did do a little research, but that can wait a bit. But the other thing was to, I haven't looked at the samples, but I don't think there's a particular sense of urgency on that. And then a particular sense of urgency means I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
Walt.
At some point in all this, I'll fill you in, everyone in, what happened while you were around back to town, what happened to the mine, what was done, exposition, it's been done.
Okay, and then I haven't checked out the new house that I got, and I wanted to make sure, I wanted to put some doors in the basement. I'm going to talk to a carpenter about putting some solid doors in, lockable doors in the basement of the new bank building, in case I get the sense that some of the things that are going to get sent from my uncle are the kind of things we want to make sure are locked up, that people don't.
But why do you want leg restraints in your bedroom?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that again? You want carpenters to do what?
I want to put lockable doors in the vault of the old bank building.
Well,
because remember, you said the vault doors have been removed.
Yes, yeah. The big, like super big, probably at the time, probably 3 or 4 tons, which
probably got to order those.
So right now,
Western town would have been significant.
I'm looking to get a wood door put in with some iron reinforcement. I'm not looking to put a bank vault door in. That would take a long time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's another thing I wanted to try to get moving. If that'll take me a couple hours and we can still get to the mine, I'll go with you. Otherwise, I'll stay here and take care of those details. What would you prefer? Yeah. Well, did I find out it? Are there carpenters in this town?
Sounds like you got a big.
Got a list of stuff to do.
Big list of stuff to attack. It's going to take about 6 hours to ride out to the mine, so we might just go this morning and we'll let you get stuff done in town.
Sounds good.
Now, are you going the tough way or the easy way?
Does he go any other way but the tough way?
God knows I want to go the tough way.
I want my ass to be sore at the end of this trip.
I asked because the easy way is more like a 14-hour ride.
Crap.
Yeah.
And the tough way is how long?
It is what you said before. It's like
the 6.
Yeah.
Now shit, we're gonna have to go the tough way then.
That is
It's a quick afternoon ride through Hidden Box Canyon, or a less dangerous from what you've been told ride, but longer, skirting Hidden Box.
Well, how do you feel about this, Barnett? Do you want to go have a chance of meeting up with the coyotes? Jack McKinney and his coyotes?
I think we can probably handle anything that comes through. And if I recall correctly, there is actually a bounty on old Mr. McKinney that if he shows his head, it's a little bit of extra income for us.
Maybe
now,
we should go get
the coyotes group. Numbers at least 9 or 10 people. So it's not just like McKinney's run around
with 3 guys.
Yeah.
But the chances of us running into all of them at the same time, probably not.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, maybe they're out rustling or everything some homesteader or whatever the hell they do.
But yeah, what do you say we grab Gustav?
Yeah.
And hey, Walt, you want to go
for the 14-hour ride?
No, for a 6-hour drive in Badland country. Might be good.
You know
for
what? I
actually
have a little something I need to do in town that might take a little while. So I think I'll take a pass. I'm not feeling too well, and I want to consult with the doctor when he's not on the floor drunk.
All right.
Let's see. So a little. Did we figure out an equivalent for a sort of local area roll? Was that just going to be like was that just going to rolled up into a no roll or something?
I thought there was something we did for local knowledge, area knowledge. There's it's something you had to put in. You just wrote it in.
Did we? Was that last session? Because I don't have that.
I don't either.
You were supposed to. It was one of your. If it was one of your skills, it was one that you just wrote in.
Oh,
Remember, 'cause
yeah.
what we had, if we had area knowledge before, we wrote it into what it was like.
I guess that was not.
Yeah. So I have mine rate not at arts and crafts, but the next one below arts and crafts.
Charm.
So
I see dumb luck there on mine.
Ah,
Yeah.
dumb
that's
luck is
right.
under track for us.
Yeah. So.
So would this be a case of using something like Streetwise to maybe to get, what the word is on the street of what may be going out in them their hills?
Well, let's see. Hold on one second. I'm going to reference your old character sheet here real quick.
Christopher, you had area knowledge.
Not
I
re-
used
no,
to,
I'm
but
not
I
from-
used to, but I don't think it actually translated into my
Yeah,
new character.
I also
Oh,
also wasn't originally around here, so
okay.
I've just been here kind of recently.
That's right. It was Walt that had area knowledge.
Well, I do, but I have history. It's not great, but it's certainly better than nothing.
Let's see. How about? I want you to keep that. Walt, you had some, correct?
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is your old character sheet? There it is. Okay, yours was more or less equivalent to what Vance has. You have similar numbers there, so go ahead and write in on your character sheet an area knowledge of 40. Unless did you put extra points into that?
Me? I had a.
I think I had 2.
By the way, I had a.
What did I have? Was it 2 or 3?
You had 3 pips in it in your old sheet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I had well, we don't now. We have we had the edge and whatever. So I actually had a medium level in the edge on, but we have the new talents now. So
Yeah, well, certainly everybody who's been around for a while in this area, and David, I'm speaking to you as well on this.
Okay.
In one of your blanks, it doesn't have to be right underneath arts and crafts or what have you, but you should write in an area knowledge of, call it 20%. I know, Greg, you put in extra points into there, so I don't want you to,
Okay.
And if anybody wants to boost that higher, cool. For anybody who's been in the town for a short period of time, drop that to 10%. And if anybody's a new arrival, you got nothing, or you got like whatever 0, 1, So just look at your at your backstory history and kind of go, okay, well, I've been here several years, therefore.
You know where the train station is and where the saloon is.
Right. So
I know that some town folk have trouble when they pee. Well, Larrabee. Is that area knowledge?
I think in my background it said I've been around for 6 months, so I'll put it at 10%.
Yeah. 6 months would be like 10%. If you've been here for several years, then
Yeah, my background was 11 years.
Yeah.
I have less time, but I've significantly invested in getting to know the people and places
Yeah.
as part of my profession. So less time, but much more detailed study.
I'm going to give myself a solid 5%.
Yeah, you're a relatively new arrival. Well, just put in something reasonable. We're not going to be too hard ass about this kind of stuff. So, So, okay, so Doc, you had a couple things you wanted to follow up on. Walt, you had a couple things you wanted to follow up on.
I sure do.
Vance, Chris, I guess you're getting Gustav as well.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You want me to just rattle them off for you quick, Marshall? So looking to get the doors put in at the top of the stairs and at the bottom of the stairs before the vault. Looking to get borrow a copy of the Constitution, and I'll order a copy of the Constitution for permanent whenever that can get delivered.
I mean, if you want one more, to order one, it's going to take. Well, okay, you could probably, weirdly enough, go to that one grocer who seems to
the
have
2 weeks to everywhere place.
yeah,
and I need some fop, not pomade. I need some pomade.
I was
for my
thinking
hair.
that. What a geographic
Not
oddity.
dandy, not
2
Dapper
weeks away from
Dan's, but
everywhere.
fop.
I'm a Dapper Dan man.
But there's a price to that. As I say, there is a large records, office, and you're quite confident that they would have copies of it there as well.
Or at least there's a book somewhere that has what it states.
So I'm looking for the exact wording of the Constitution and the amendments so far, and the Declaration of Independence. I could just probably buy a book that's got those in there, and I'll borrow one for the time being. And if I'm in the records office, also maybe I'll take a look at the records of ownership of if they can get it for me, of my current of the old bank building and that ranch building that I got since I'm here. Why not? Right.
Okay.
See if there's anything interesting in the past ownership or just the records. It was owned by Jebediah Edmondson, who died in a mysterious fire, but the building didn't burn, just him, something weird like that.
In general, or just on both the properties?
On both those properties.
Okay.
You inherited the Smiley Ranch.
Oh, you're that ranch? Yeah. Good luck with that. Yeah.
Happy Smiley Ranch. I love that ranch. That's the best ranch ever.
What about Captain Handy's hands-on ranch?
And I'll probably spend the rest of the day doing doctoring.
Right. Okay.
Good doctoring.
So, you eventually get pointed out. Since you're relatively new to the town, you get pointed out to plot 29, which is the carpenters, and that's here.
There it is.
That's tucked away in the corner.
Yeah.
Almost.
Man can have some privacy back in that corner.
That would be next to 28, the Coldwater Cafe and Boarding House, right?
Yep.
And if you do, you want to just describe what you want done?
Yeah, I just wanted to put a stout wood door with iron. You feel free to work with the blacksmith to put some iron reinforcing bands on it. If you want to come over and measure it, and some sturdy hinges.
Yeah, you talked to Mr. Jeff Osgrave, and he says, yeah, we need to come over and take some measurements. From what you're talking about, obviously we're going to give you an estimate and all that kind of good stuff, but it'll probably take, how stout do you want these?
Not like a bank vault, but something that will, that will turn away. That'll be difficult to break through in less
So
than
you
an hour.
want a fairly thick oak and that sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Okay. See if it's got the timber. I can check the storage for that. But blah blah blah, and
Yeah. Right.
you'll have to lead them to the bank property, and
Sure.
they'll take measurements and stuff like that. He brings along Dan Pullman, evidently his guy who he works with.
Also like to make some modifications to the main room to set it up like we talked about, to have a living space in there.
Right. So that takes you, not terribly long insofar as just kind of describing what you need done. It's obviously going to take them quite a bit longer. And they ask for, unless you plan to be around, they'll ask for keys
Yep.
to the property.
Does he look like an honest, trustworthy man?
As far as you know, you get the feeling that the establishment's been in town for a fairly decent amount of time. It is one of the newer buildings. It's one of the nicer buildings.
The woodwork's
But
amazing.
they've been here for at least a year and a half, and you know it looks like they have decent business, so they couldn't be too fly by night.
Okay, and so I'd like him to put some iron bands on that too. Work with the blacksmith to put some iron bands to reinforce it. Make sure we got good sturdy hinges. So yeah, and if you give me an estimate, and once you're ready to do the work, I'll pay you half in advance, half when it's completed,
Sure.
and I'll give you a key to the place so you can do it without me having to be around. As you know, there's a lot of doctoring to do in this town.
Indeed so. And
People got their maladies and ailments.
Your help here is certainly appreciated. When is the old doc coming back?
I have not heard from him. I think he's got. Well, he was going to visit whoever he was going. I don't remember. He's going to visit family. I don't know. He's pretty old.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he.
Old Doc Gibbs. Yeah, he's an old one. Yeah.
But anyway, you let me know, and obviously, if you need any doctoring, there'll be a professional discount if there's anything you need.
Well, that's good. We'll make sure we do you up just well on this one too. Give you a good price for the work.
All right.
They're kind of the only big, heavy carpenter guys in town, so they got a monopoly, but they don't abuse it. So after you line that up, and they got some footwork to do as well. You head over to the records office, plot 12, I believe. Yes. And so you're looking for Constitution. You're looking for basically the big governmental documents, right?
Yep.
And then you're also looking for previous deeds / if there happen to be any architectural drawings / et cetera, of the two properties that you got.
Yep.
Is that accurate?
Correct. And the previous owners.
Right. Okay. So you speak with a Edward Tillengast, and you may exchange words.
Okay.
Do you? Yeah. So basically, I'm interested in any records. I own two properties. One is the old bank building, and the other one is a ranch. And I'll just hopefully describe it well enough for them to know what it is. And I'm looking for any records of previous owners or any details about the properties that may be in the public records or in the property records. Also, do you happen to have a copy of the Constitution?
Yeah, you certainly do. Yes. Almost de rigueur for any.
I'm sorry, the United States Constitution.
Well, that's accurate because there's now the Southern Confederate States of America Constitution.
I probably should get a. That one changes a lot, right?
Not so much.
The Kansas is technically a union state. It is kind of holding neutrality, though.
It's cautiously union.
Yes. Certainly in name, and certainly the United States of America absolutely considers it a state. The Confederacy considers it a probable state. So you would have records certainly of both. You have fairly exacting reprints, in the whole cursive, "We the people," blah blah blah, and then you also have precise printed versions of it as well, because there's a lot of people who are not particularly learned in cursive, but can read print. So you have both those.
I could read cursive, print, and doctor's prescription pad.
Ah,
Um,
well, I
insofar
mean,
as past records to the properties that Dr. Gabriel said, well, it's this building at this location as well as blah blah. He gives you sort of descriptions of where they're at. You're of course familiar with the old bank, not a problem. And go ahead and roll library use roll. I'm
okay.
pretty confident on this one, but go ahead and roll it.
Yeah, that's a 23.
23. So when you roll your skills, you've got a very high library use, and then you have the half, and then you have the fifth, right? So if you succeed better than hard, say I succeeded at a hard level.
Yeah.
If you roll better than your extreme, say I succeeded in extreme.
Right.
So yeah, you can certainly provide the bank record insofar as blueprints, previous owners, of which there's only one.
Builders.
You have filings, obviously, from New York, New York law firm recently filed the new documentation to Dr. Trout. Very, very recently. Matter of fact, you kind of recall it. You're like, oh yes, that paperwork just kind of came through. And then the other property. Let's see if I got anything on that here. Sure, I got something here. But it's not in my town of Etna notes.
Total situational awareness.
What? Hold on.
Okay. I mean, and I can come back in a couple hours if it needs time to look.
You can find anything there is.
Yeah, I mean, insofar as digging deeper into the records, just like any library use role, it takes a couple hours. Call of Cthulhu is kind of a pain in the ass on that, but it kind of is what it is.
If you could come visit me in my office after you, because unfortunately I have to go see patients, I'd be much obliged. I'd be happy to pay for dinner for you if that would help.
Sounds good.
Okay, you start getting down on it. I will forward you
Free food.
some, information here shortly on that. Okay. Hey, we got a hook in. Yay. Seemed to make sense.
There it is.
Let's see here. Also, yeah, fair enough. So while Edward is he's kind of writing down a quick little list of records and such that you've requested to get, and Dr. Trout, you notice while he's writing this down, you joke a little bit. It's like, oh well, I could read, shorthand and cursive and whatever. You see that Edward writes notes down in a sort of a quick jotted abbreviational notation, but it's not shorthand, or at least it's not a shorthand that you're familiar with.
Is it symbols I'm familiar with? Because I'm pretty proficient.
It is English, but it is a jumbled up English.
Okay, because I'm proficient in Latin and Greek as well.
But he's dyslexic.
Do a no roll.
Made it 54 out of 75. Oh, 54 out of 80, sorry.
What was it again?
54 out of 80, so not
54.
just a regular
Okay, so
success.
normal success. You don't. It's not of a language that you are familiar with.
Okay, that's interesting. What do you? It doesn't look like English you're writing there. Although the characters are English, just looks like a hodgepodge.
Well, it's something that works from. It's a private cipher. It works for me.
Nice. Not a lot of learned individuals that. Well, you know, I'm not a member of any secret societies or any of those things. I know some of them use secret scripts and things like that. But if you're in a secret society, you don't talk about it. So
It's not.
first rule of secret societies: don't talk about secret society.
That's right. First rule of Fight Club.
Well, anyway, looking forward to seeing what you could dig up, and maybe perhaps we'll have some dinner later.
I'll see you then.
I'm much obliged.
All right. So that takes you a while. You do though have in hand, Dr. Trout, a printed copy, a book copy, if you will, of the Bill of Rights, of the Constitution, and a book of the Federalist Papers. That the Federalist Papers, it's a no kidding amount of.
I would imagine as a bonus, I got the Articles of Confederation as well.
You got a copy certainly of the Southern States of America Constitution, which is remarkably similar to the United States Constitution, which is also remarkably similar to the Virginia State Constitution. You also thought
it's just like the U.S. Constitution, but it's got slavery inserted about 50,000 times in it.
Edward also slipped in to the books a copy of the initial. Well, help me with this. Before 1770, whatever, the United States was a confederated constitution, right?
Are you thinking of the original Articles of Confederation?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Before we said, oh, that's maybe a little bit too loose. We need to write something.
So I spent a lot of time. Learning about medicine, not so much about history.
Right. That long time ago, 100.
And I did my little part. I lived part of it during Antietam in Vicksburg. But that's enough for me.
So you have, the original Articles of Confederation. You have the CSA Constitution, and then you have the Bill of Rights, the Constitution of the United States of America, and you have the Federalist Papers.
What about the handwritten love letters of Thomas Jefferson?
No, nor of Ben Franklin. Which, kind of a bummer.
I don't want to think about Ben Franklin making love.
Much more interesting.
Somewhat disturbing to me.
That's true. So that takes you a fair amount of time between the carpenter and your visit to plot 12.
We'll spend the rest of my day doing patient stuff, and then dinner time. Perhaps Edward and Walt and I can have dinner.
Okay. So, Walt, what would you like to do with your day? The Vance and Chris and Gustav are heading off, and you wanted to I know you messaged me, but let's.
I'm looking for a certain fellow who my recent issues reminded me of him, and I don't have a name, but I wanted to try to track him down. Maybe I'll start with the sheriff, see if he's in his office, and if not that, I'll go see if Dan can help me out.
All right. You head down to the sheriff's office. One sec. Checking notes. Checking them twice.
Aaron's like, I didn't expect you to go that.
Didn't.
Set the Wayback Machine on me.
Okay.
I would like to go to location 999 on the map. Your map's upside down, sir. Oh shit.
Well, I didn't. I was actually expecting you to go to the gravedigger guy at some point in time today on this session, but guess not.
Well, remember, I have to take care of myself.
That's true.
This is affecting me.
Don't forget, Aaron, the railroad has come to Coldwater, so you can railroad us into the next adventure whenever you need to.
I had to pull from my notes the new deputy because you killed the old one.
Is this one Slim?
So you head over to the sheriff's office first, just because.
Slim Atkins.
Well, very close. And the sheriff is in, and he's talking to a younger fellow, fairly intensely, kind of talking about sort of a bunch of stuff as you come in. Sort of seems to jump subject right as you're kind of going in. Yeah, and then there's the old widow. Oh, Mr. Larrabee, welcome in.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Sheriff. I don't know this gentleman. I was hoping I could pick your brain a little bit about somebody I've seen in town before, but I haven't seen in quite some time, and I don't have his name. But I can wait, read this paper, or come back if that's more suitable.
No, that's all right. I want you to meet our new deputy. You see a younger fellow, probably early 30s, maybe even late 20s, splash of red hair. He looks up. Liam O'Brien, how you doing?
I will give him a nice weird West handshake, steely handshake, and squint and say, Walt Larrabee, I'm a journalist.
A journalist. Do we have a local newspaper? And he looks at
not really.
the sheriff, and the sheriff goes,
I'm on assignment.
Well, a town this big could probably use one. At least a small print, like a 2-pager.
That's a good idea. Probably. I'm sorry. I write at a slightly higher level, but I'm very interested in local events. But I do agree. A paper is good for the local populace to know what's going on in their world.
Yeah, a local gazette probably wouldn't be that bad of a side venture, actually. Driven mostly by advertisements, blah blah blah. But let's say a 2-page pressing every now and then. Like a once a week, twice a week kind of thing, would actually be fairly sustainably profitable. So
that's an interesting idea. That's an interesting idea. I'll have to give that some serious consideration.
Not a half bad idea.
Not a half bad idea.
If you don't mind, we're letting the dogs out and stuff, so a little bit of a break, and we'll come right back. How's that sound?
Who let the dogs out?
Yes.
Cupcake time.
So be right back.
You got one right here.
I'm gonna pause here.
Sure.
And,
Yeah, you're talking with the sheriff, and you just met Liam.
Liam, the deputy.
He's introduced
Liam,
as
the deputy.
the new deputy.
Well, Good luck to you, deputy. Well, do you mind if I have a private word with the sheriff?
Oh, certainly, yeah. And he steps out onto the thoroughfare.
Probably grabs a smoke. So sheriff, once or twice in town, I've seen this kind of an older guy. Looks like a kind of a tinkerer, sells trinkets on a basket, like things like they call them, I guess, those dream catchers. And never caught his name, but I got a hankering to meet him. If you can help me out.
He kind of kicks back in his sort of swivel chair behind his desk and kind of looks up and yeah, he doesn't come through very. Oh, sorry, that's Liam's accent.
Those Irish accents, they're catchy.
Catchy.
It's St. Patrick's Day, sir.
Where's me lucky charms? Oh, they're right here.
Not the Pepperidge Farm voice. It's the no.
That's just
Farm
fine.
members.
Well, how about the dead walk? You like got into that one back in a big way after Pet Cemetery.
God, man, he loved that voice.
He freaking loved that voice. I call him, hey, Aaron, what's up? Oh, I remember you. It's like, just talk like a normal person, Aaron.
Soil of man's heart, Estonia. He goes, let's see. Gray. I can't remember his first name. Mr. Gray. Yeah, he doesn't come through town very often. Or let's see. Maybe once a month. Maybe.
Oh, maybe I'm lucky, and he's gonna be coming into town soon.
Roll me your dumb luck roll, please.
08.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
yeah. There he is.
You need dumb. Walter Man.
He's right. He's across. He's taking a shit in the alley. Right. Pardon my language for YouTube watchers.
He's
Just happens to be walking in to pay a parking ticket.
That's right. Yeah, he hasn't been in for quite a while, so he's probably due.
Okay, all right.
We'll
I saw the 0, and I'm like, man, you better not be 100, because after last week, so I was like, woo.
He went yesterday.
Do you know if he does he come into town to see somebody, or is he just kind of sells his wares, blows in and out of town once a month?
Yeah, he usually sets up near Boot Hill, but oftentimes he'll make a stop by most of the business establishments just to see whatever, and sometimes he sells and picks up some goods at the dry goods store. So that's probably not a bad place to make an inquiry to. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I just want to have some personal business. I want to talk to him, and Boot Hill, actually, that would make a lot of sense. So yeah, I'll run by the dry goods, and I'll put in a word on the off chance you see him. I'm at the boarding house. You'd send word, and I'll probably track him down. You're a busy man, Sheriff. If he shows up, that'd be really good. So all right, well, everything okay with you, Sheriff? Sleeping well?
Can't complain, all things considered. Didn't sleep so well, obviously, first night we got back, but last night wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not. I guess I still haven't I guess I'm still kind of feeling the effects of all that stuff that went down in the mine, but I'll be fine. I'm from Baltimore.
Anybody can blame you. There's a good talk with the preacher, maybe. I know I did yesterday.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got a sheriff's deputy so fast. Did he come recommended?
He did, of course. This was.
He's got a pulse, so that was something.
This was a recommendation that I actually had on file from um, uh, Marshall Rutherford.
Well, I'm really glad that worked out. Hopefully, of course, things will be quiet around here for a while. No more posses.
We can only hope so. Well, all right, yeah, I'll keep you informed if I hear anything else come up from Etna, though.
Very good. All right, Sheriff. Have a good day.
Take care.
Now I step out, and I will head. If it's okay, I will head purposefully over to the dry goods store.
Sure. You recall that's plot 11. And you know Emmett Johnson runs the dry goods store. You always thought it was kind of funny because it's Jackson's Dry Goods, but it's Mr. Johnson that runs the store.
Yeah, there might be a story in that for the new newspaper. Maybe second page.
Second page. That's right.
Not quite. I mean, it depends if it's a slow Tuesday. Maybe that's like, did you know? Isn't it funny that? Okay, well, I'm gonna go step over to Jackson's to see Johnson.
Right.
I've heard of Johnson and Johnson.
Wilco, Roger.
And Masters and Johnson, but now we have
Roger,
Johnson and Jackson.
Unger, over and out.
Yeah, well, Oof. All right,
Okay,
so I'm gonna
you head up
basically.
to Jackson's Dry Goods,
And,
and
did you say it was 11?
plot 11.
Plot 11. Plot device 11. Oh, he's in the back. Oh, that's right, because I remember. I think I stopped by there because wasn't 10 where didn't we invest it? We park our horses back here, and that's where the horse took off.
Yeah.
All right. I think I actually did go in and talk to him. So we probably already have a rapport.
You do have a bit of rapport. You did talk to him. I guess about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, in gaming times that was about 5 months ago. So I'm pretty amazed I remember that. Like, wait a minute. Haven't I taken saw a man about a horse? Literally right here. All right, so it's normal business hours, so I'm just gonna walk right in.
Right, yeah, you walk in, you see a woman actually behind the commerce counter, as it were. You have met
A woman?
the woman.
Woman?
Mary, who is Emmett's wife.
Good morning, Mrs. Johnson.
Uh,
Walt Larrabee.
That's it. I'm sorry. You don't have an ongoing account with us. It's so many names.
That's true.
How can I help you?
Well, if your husband's not available, maybe you could help me, or maybe is he available? I'd like to talk to him for just a few minutes and ask him about a mutual acquaintance.
He's actually up in Dodge, bringing down some new supplies.
Well, I guess the supplier's got to be supplied. Deep witticism there. All right, well, Ms. Johnson, the person I'm interested, and I understand might actually be coming into town soon, is a kind of a tinkerer, maybe Mr. Gray or Gray something. He sells things like wind chimes and dream catchers. Maybe stays up yonder in Boot Hill, and I understand. I wonder if you know him, because I'm kind of looking for him.
Yes. What name did you use?
You said it was Gray. I asked the sheriff. He says couldn't remember his name entirely, but it was Gray something. Maybe that's his first name or last name, or Gray Pilgrim. Mithrandir, as the elves know him.
She describes the fellow, as did the sheriff.
Let me guess. They just can't quite say what his name is.
Well, they describe him very accurately.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes, that's Marty Stone.
Marty Stone. Well, that's not Gray at all. Okay, well, maybe the sheriff Maybe the sheriff was mistaken. So Marty Stone, do you know if he's around from here? Is he? I understand he doesn't live here, but he comes through, and I also understand that he might be due to arrive soon because he hasn't been here in a while.
It's true. He has not been here a while. We occasionally pick up some of his. Yes, tinker is probably a good terminology. He seems to craft the occasional sort of what do the engines call them? Dream catchers and chimes and little things that one might put on a shelf or whatever, little tin bits, that sort of thing. We do have one of his wind chimes, and he kind of points over to a chime um, in a corner.
I will take a look at it and comment on how it's very nice and say, I want to talk to him about a special commission for a special person I have back east. So I would be obliged if you see him to let him know that Walt Larrabee, a somewhat noted reporter from Dodge, would love to have a talk with him, and you could even tell him about a personalized commission if he'd be interested. I'm gonna be on the lookout for him too. And Clearwater's not a Coldwater. It's Coldwater, right?
Coldwater.
Coldwater's not a huge town, but since I'm pretty sure he always comes to see you, in case I miss him, I'd certainly be obliged if you'd could send word. I'm over at the boarding house.
Okay. Which boarding house?
Was it Maze?
Maze. Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm sure I could find a runner, come out and find you when he next stops by. Not a problem.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure you're probably fairly busy, so I will. I'll tip my hat and say good day and step on out.
Okay.
Keep it short.
All right. So you do not look at the chime that was in the bar.
I did. I said I went over. I went over and I took a look at it and I said admiring things, but I really did have a personalized thing.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
All right. Wow, 22. That'll work. Actually, I think that'll work hard.
You tell me.
Sweet.
Was it a hard or was it?
Let me find my character sheet again, because let's see. Spot hidden. Oh, by 1. That was hard by 1. 22 out of 45.
Okay. You look fairly closely at this chime, and again, it's there's a little bit of metal, but the chimes are more of a cut glass. There's some stones in it and such, and you look at it very carefully, and something catches your attention. You probably want to look at it. You go. Do you happen to have like a magnifying glass or anything like that on you?
On me? Can I get a dumb luck?
Sherlock.
Yeah, let's give dumb luck roll.
Wow, just made it.
Just made it. Wow. Okay.
Hey! I'm like checking all the pockets, and I'm like, oh, it's in the coat pocket.
Not a big. It's not.
First, let me put on my deer hunter hat first.
Yeah, it's not the one from Top Secret or whatever.
It's probably just like a little handheld one.
But yeah, it's a small one, but serviceable. And you notice in the center glass, you see several what appears to be threads of silver, as in like not threads as in like a thread that you might find in quartz or whatever, but literally like some super thin lines of silver inlaid in the glass. It's not on the glass. It's as though the glass was formed around these literally maybe 3-inch long, hair fine threads of silver. You have never noticed such a thing in blown glass before.
You know what? I do. I still want to have a personalized collection, but is this for sale?
Oh, of course, yes.
I'm trying to get a good price.
Do you have bargaining?
Haters gotta hate. I gotta try my spiel. I gotta stay truthful to my character here. I will try my I guess I'll just go with a nice persuade
Sure.
her.
Give
Let's hope I don't
persuasion.
fuck it up. Nope, no, I make that. No, I make it normal success, nothing special.
Normal. Okay, she suggests a price of $2.
She suggests, all right, I think I have a $1 and 18 bits. Will that be okay? That's $1.75.
Well, a bit is 1/8 of a dollar. So.
Well, they say 2 bits is a quarter. What's that? Shaving a haircut, 6 bits. So that's why I'm saying 18. 6 shape. What? All right, whatever. I'm getting too
Even a
clever.
haircut is 2 bits.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Since the math is giving me a headache and I'm not feeling on top of my game, I'll say $2 would be fine.
Fair enough. $2.
I'm just
Just
like,
negotiated
that's right. I'm
himself
not
to a higher
feeling.
price.
Yeah, it was like, that's a
Hey,
much higher price.
Yeah,
Hey.
was actually almost. She was going to gladly accept $1.18.
This is why, despite his journalistic
$3? Sure, sucker.
Hey, you know what? I'm the talker here.
That's outrageous. I'll pay $1 more.
Give me my $2.
I want my $3.
So okay. So you now have a peculiar wind chime.
Good, very good. Yes, and I'm going to be putting that over my bed when I sleep tonight. So it's not a dream catcher, it's a wind chime.
It is a
But
wind chime.
It's a decidedly odd wind chime.
Yes.
All right, that sounds good to me. All right, well, I feel like I've monopolized enough of the marshal's time. Is there? That was really kind of what I wanted to, and at some point I'd like to go talk to Dr. Trout too and consult with him. Get the 5% friends and family discount.
Well, that actually makes a fair amount of sense. Okay, so did you also want to talk to Dan or?
I mean, I wouldn't mind chatting with my friend Dan, but
Well, you know the
I think my health. I'm kind of concerned about my health, so I really kind of Dan. I'd like to. I'd probably do that after I saw Dr. Trout, because I am concerned about my health.
I mean, you know the doctor was having to step out for a few hours on personal business.
Alrighty. Well, in that case, I will, just to cover all my bases, and because I wasn't happy with how I left it last time, I'm gonna go to Boot Hill and see the gravedigger.
All right. Hold on.
I'll be like, do you remember this?
How about this? Skywalker, or no, Windwalker, whatever. Third Mad Max film. Yeah, Walker, right? Pilot Walker, Mrs. Walker.
I don't think anybody picked up on whatever reference you were dropping. Did anyone? Did that mean anything to anybody? I think you failed
Max,
your
Thunderdome. Max is with the kids, and the kids show him the slides.
I ignore that part of the. Once he goes on Gulag, I ignore. I don't watch the rest of the movie.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I like it, sort of. Master Blaster, it's all.
So you go to near Boot Hill. You're familiar with where Pete hangs out.
Wait, Pete might be busy. He has a lot of bodies to get in the ground, doesn't he? Didn't we bring a whole mess of bodies back for him?
No, those are all those people are being interned in Etna.
Oh, what about the posse people?
Oh, the posse, yeah, a fair amount of them. That is true.
Yeah, I mean, I was driving the wagon that had a I had a cart full of corpses in the back of my cart not too long ago. So just FYI, he might be busy.
I thought you were meaning like the whole minor group, and I was like, oh no, that would have been a.
No, but we did bring back some were burned from some well-meaning
Yeah, and
individual.
there's due to the nature of the departed, there's not going to be a lot of, typically you'd have a wake and a laying out for, 2 or 3 days uh, in the parlors of various houses and such. That would be not happening. And
Gonna
yeah,
be getting
so
into the ground pretty quick.
yeah, you do see who you assume to be Pete. He is indeed up on Boot Hill, preparing several markers or whatever graves.
All right. Well, I'm going to I'm kind of stand back, see if he I want to make sure he notices that I'm there, but I'm just going to casually pull out a cigarette and just kind of look like I'm waiting for a good time to talk to him, so I don't interrupt. And if he talks to me, great. Otherwise, I'm going to try to find a good time to interrupt.
Okay. He's kind of digging away, and he takes a pause, and he's got a bucket of water with a dipper, and kind of splashes some sweat off of his face with a rag, and takes a draw from his dipper, and he looks up and I'm feeling happy seeing you again soon, thankfully.
Oh, really? I wasn't sure I was going to see you until about 10 minutes ago. What's your side of the story?
I'm just working.
All right, well,
Always,
you said you
always
thought
work
you'd see
here.
me again. I mean, professionally, hopefully not on the other end of the business.
Well, that would be professionally for me.
Well, yeah, but it wouldn't be very good for it wouldn't be good for my professional career.
Indeed
If,
not. That would
if-
be, well, what do you call
a dead end
it?
job.
A dead end, an obituary for the writer. Do you write your own obituary? I wonder.
I've got mine ready. I've got a couple versions. Doesn't everybody? So Pete, where we last talked, I asked you about the horseman you rode out of here, and I feel like I didn't set off on a good foot. I feel like I rubbed you the wrong way, or maybe my company wasn't welcome. I'd sure like to make that up to you, and I know you're busy because I drove the cart back that had a lot of these bodies, the poor posse members, and I was wondering, if it'd be a good time. I don't know if you ever had to. What saloon is your choice? But I'd love to buy you a drink and try to set things right between the two of us.
Well, I gotta admit, this job does not pay enough for me to indulge myself too terribly often in the saloons here, although I'll pick myself up an occasional bottle and enjoy it in company of my own veranda. He points to his house. His grand veranda is a kind of crappy porch. But, for every man his own castle. And he says, well, I'm happy to, well, he kind of looks up at the sky. Probably got another 2-3 hours worth of work where I'm going to be just too tuckered out. This ground is as hard as it ever was. And I'll probably be looking to knock off. Be happy to oblige you with a social drink then, if you like.
Sure. Do you have preference on the place?
Well, I was thinking if this is going to be a private conversation, my veranda is probably about the most private we can get.
I'm sorry. What did you say again?
If it's
No, I
a
mean, I
private
didn't hear.
conversation you want, my veranda is about as private as you can get, I think.
All right. Would you like me to bring my own bottle? Or
I do like the whiskey that they sell over at the Bell Union.
done. I'll see you in whatever. I'll pull up my pocket watch and I'll give him a time that's about 2 or 3 hours, 2.5 hours out.
All right.
And then I'll shoot him dead. I'm just kidding. See if you're paying attention. Who's paying attention?
All right. he certainly agrees to that, and he kind of looks back and says, "Did you ever find out the real nature of that rider?"
Unfortunately, we kind of did, but he's not gonna be a problem to anyone in Coldwater. Though he seems to be plaguing me a little bit in my after hours, if you know what I mean. And just to kind of tickle your head about what I kind of want to talk to you about too, besides of course getting to know you a little better, Pete, is I'm kind of on the lookout for that was it Martin Clay? You told me the Tinkerer. In fact, I just picked this up from the dry goods shop.
Tinker.
I hear
Oh,
he's due in town soon, and I hear he stays he stays up here when he's in town.
oh, you don't mean Gilmore then?
Did you say Gilmore?
Yeah.
I thought you told me the guy's name. The
Yep.
lady told me the person's name was like something Martin.
No, Gilmore's the tinker who, he's like the town tinker. He's the guy who, he's got a shop right down in the kind of points vaguely.
No, I'm talking about the guy who comes into town, and I heard he stays up by Boot Hill, and he often runs by the dry goods stores, and he makes these what the Indians call dream catchers and wind chimes.
Oh, that's Gabriel Slate.
Is it me, or is his name changing every time? All right, Gabriel Slate. Yeah, are you? Anyway, I just want to let you know. Like to kind of bend your ear on what you know about him, because I'm looking to give him a little business.
Really?
Yeah, but you know what? Let's just we'll put a cork in it till we pull the cork out in a couple hours. So I'm gonna just kind of tip my hat and head on out.
All righty. Talk to you soon.
All right. I don't want to get into it just then and there, but
All right.
all right. Seriously, is this guy's name changed 3 times? Gabriel Gray. Didn't she say? Is it just me? I know it's not Martin Short, the Canadian comedian, but what was this guy's? I really should have wrote that down. Come
Hey,
on,
probably should have.
come on, Carl. Eidetic memory. What did he say?
Didn't write
Damn.
it down, so
All right.
Give me a no roll. Looking for.
You should know better. Write this
and
down.
remember you can spend
It was a
spend
12.
chips for the bartender.
12. No, I'm not hitting up the bartender just yet.
Well, okay.
Where's my pen?
Stone called this person that once you described him as Gabriel Slate. Mary described, or the same description fit a Lewis Stone.
There's a theme here, if you've noticed.
And the sheriff was something or other Gray. Didn't have a first name.
It's Gandalf.
Slate
All right,
Greystone.
That's not exactly. My head hurts. All right. Well, at that point, like I said, I got a couple hours to kill. Actually, you know what? Since I'm really not feeling that great, I'll probably go lie down.
Okay, I mean, you know the doctor well enough where you could probably.
Well, he said he's busy for a few hours, so I figured
Yeah.
he would.
But you could probably go lie down at the doctor's office. Is what I was gonna suggest.
Okay. Like I have a note for the doctor's office. Okay.
That's right.
Like I'm going to the clinic in 6th grade with my big
all right.
hall pass.
So, Vance, Christopher, Gustav.
The man that's missing.
other Vance. Number 2. Have you decided which way you're going, etc., etc.?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're going the dangerous way.
You're going the dangerous way.
Oh, there's some good rolls coming.
Okay, if I recall, Dan gave you one of his really great maps.
Yeah.
Right. And you take you kind of look over the map. Why don't you and Christopher both make whatever your area knowledge roll is, just to kind of compare it, kind of go. Oh,
I do have skill in navigation. Would that help?
Damn.
Once you're on the way, yes.
Okay.
I rolled a 0-2.
Wow.
kills it.
And
Yeah.
I rolled a 0.8, which is actually just a success.
Okay,
Damn.
well, both check off your skills. Absolutely.
Oh, area knowledge was already checked off, but yeah.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah.
Well, then it didn't really happen, did it?
And that's a reminder to you, David, as well.
Uh-huh.
Clear all the checks off of your character sheet, and then
Okay.
check off things as you succeed in them as far as skills.
I understand.
We can do the occasional one-up. So you already certainly succeeded in your library use,
Yes.
and why don't you give me a quick roll on your dumb luck?
Walt? Wait. Oh, did you say Walt or who?
For David.
16 out of 45.
Okay,
That's
so
success.
go ahead and check that off. That accounts for the fact that you had on hand so many of the rather obscure government documentation.
Oh, okay.
I meant to mention it, but I didn't. So wake-ups. And we'll probably do upping of skills next session. On a quick note for next session, next 2 weeks I am screwed yet once again on working late nights. There's nothing I can do about that. So I do apologize, but I'm trying to give you all as much head notice as humanly possible this time around. At least it's scheduled this time. So that's my cross to bear. Sucks, but that's where it is at. I might have a reprieve next week, but I know the week of April 1st and there, I'm working until, well, I'm working Indian time, so.
Oof.
Yeah. So pencil in next week, but the week after is definitely a no-no.
Alrighty.
Good. I'll literally be working at this moment. So, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you know the path. You know it's an accurate map insofar as that's going to take us through Hidden Box Canyon. Neither of you can particularly say that you've reconnoitered Hidden Box with any detail. It's a fairly large tracts of land, but and there are multiple paths and more obscure paths and trails and such going through it.
There's a chance we can get lost, is what you're trying to say?
A little bit, but with tracking and navigation and such, you're feeling like you're in pretty decent hands there. And it looks like Dan has marked a reasonable trail, and it appears that the the Providence Mine is on basically the western edge of Hidden Box Canyon. So this is definitely the straightest path that you can be taking.
Okay.
And I assume you load up your horses, a little bit of food for the horses, dry tack, blah blah blah, water, etc., and off you ride. First several miles is sort of normal paths and trails and such like that before you start coming up to the canyon itself.
Can I do scan rolls now and then?
Oh, sure.
I'm looking for a certain horse.
You have a certain
He's
thing on
looking
you?
for you.
Yes.
You do. Okay. Yeah. Give me a. For now, just give me one scan roll.
All right. Missed it.
Missed it. Okay, fair enough.
I've just probably one last one before we go into the canyon.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if that was the one. Sure, it'll find us in the canyon.
So you get up into the canyon itself. and you're following, say, Dan's notations, and I'd like for you. So you're heading west, correct?
Yep.
Yes. Um, both you and Carl, and I'll proxy Greg. No, 87, definitely not. Do an idea roll, both of y'all.
Critical success.
Critical success.
I got a success. That's it.
Okay,
I
Carl,
got 75 out of 80.
Carl, give me a scan roll.
A hard success.
Damn. Okay, I know your stats are good, but still, damn. You get a little bit into the box can, and you kind of notice this. I'll say, sort of at the transition, kind of. It happens over the course of about a mile's worth of riding. You kind of look back and you look forward, and you kind of continue to do a double take. You don't see the crazy horse. That's not what you see. But you would swear that some of the trees and stuff that you pass by have moved. They are not where your mental map of stuff as it goes by, because you do that because you're a tracker. But something you'd bet against Gustav, who's a gambler, right? That something has shifted. I'm not talking gigantic hill, right? I'm not talking a new crevasse has shown up where there wasn't one before, but maybe an undulation is a little bit lower than it was when you passed by it, as far as you can recall, or that mesquite tree that you're sure was on the left side of the trail is now on the right side of the trail behind you. You can't quite pin down what's changed, but something has changed.
I will mention this to my companions. I said, this is the oddest thing, but I swear the landscape is changing suddenly around us. Keep an eye out. There's something isn't right in here. Can't put my finger on it, but I've tracked many people through the woods, and I've never seen anything like this.
I will definitely keep an eye out for oddities to my eye.
Okay, so you got a list now. You head further into Hidden Box, and I'd like you both to roll a navigate for me, please.
It's about to say, go that way.
Just a success.
Let me get my character up. There we go. Ooh, 22. It is just a success.
Okay, I needed successes from we'll just say 2 out of 3. We'll see how Greg does anyway. Just holy shit, he got a success too. He got 0-3. He actually got a critical.
Whoa.
He only has 10. So 0-3 is well, I guess it's not quite a critical.
Not quite a critical. 2 would have been a critical.
So
spend the luck points. Spend some luck points.
yeah, I didn't expect that. That's kind of funny. Boy, I'll tell you on these PDFs, the difference between the print button and the save button really needs to.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ. And when can we get away from the save button looking like a disc from 1995? Could we please have something else? I don't know what.
Hey,
but-
when
I
we're
understand these
all
days you can actually print out that icon in like a 3D printer.
Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, okay, so you all concur that as the paths start to sort of split and separate out, that you are still on the path that Dan has
what
indicated.
the?
You
That was
ride for
weird.
another while again. Vance, give me your scan roll again, please.
Sure. That was very weird. Yes, no, just regular success.
All right. Okay, regular success. Yeah. You continue on. As I say, it's a multiple hour ride, through the canyon. That was heads up to you all. So let's do another sort of group navigate roll, please.
Success, barely.
Ooh, no.
Oh, that sounds unfortunate.
Okay. You continue to ride. You're starting to kind of go. I mean, you're heading in the right direction now, and it's not like Dan drew a 50-to-1 map, right? It's he basically wrote down on a torn out piece from a ledger book, and you're going many miles, and he put in a few kind of turn left at this hill that's shaped like this, that kind of thing. Christopher, you in the back of your head, you're having a little bit of concerns now that the markations on Dan's map, since they are dependent, it's not like you're following road signs, right? Are dependent on visual cues that Dan has drawn out. Combine that with what you have a creeping suspicion of the landscape scooting around a little bit. Your confidence in this ride is not as high as you are typically used to, but you're still feeling okay, but not great about this. Do you continue on your track?
Keep
Yes?
a closer eye on things, but yeah.
Okay. Let's get one last group navigate roll, please.
Should have taken the hard way.
Ooh, 0-5.
They are taking the hard way.
And just a regular success.
You guys are nuts. Okay. I'm glad I didn't go. We'll just leave it at that.
That is a critical.
Critical success. Okay. You
Intense dice tonight.
continue to ride. Thankfully, it appears as though at least, on like the third indicator on Dan's little map, does still sort of match up. Oh yeah, that does look like an eagle's head rock formation to the left, kind of whatever. It's fairly unique. So you're okay. I think we're doing pretty good. But you have noticed up higher, you're kind of sort of in the canyon right now. Up on higher ground, fairly far away from you, off to your right, there is a dark horse seemingly roaming also in your direction. It's pretty far away. I don't know if you got your spyglass,
scope.
right?
Yep.
All right. you come to a halt, I assume.
Yep.
You
Come
know.
to a halt and take a look. Just trying to see if it looks like an oddly shaped horse.
Right.
Holy shit.
And yes, indeed, it looks like it's your horse-friendly, familiar horse.
Waiting for that thing to show up.
And as you do that, you kind of you absorb that information, and you continue. I guess you continue your ride.
Yep.
Okay. And as you continue through one of the sort of canyon sort of twists and turns, you notice not too far in front of you, you see a wisp of smoke, as though a campfire of some sort, in your general frontal path.
Same thing, kind of come to a stop, take a look. Does that look like it's like a burning out campfire? Can I detect any flame?
You think it's a smoldering campfire.
Okay. A couple of concerns. That could either be a message that someone's been spotted in the canyon, or it could just be the leftover campfire and someone's going to be joining us soon. Keep an ear and an eye out, boys.
Yeah.
All right. You continue on, and the particular switchback you're coming through, you do come to a certain sort of, kind of a left and a right. And let me show you the map.
And it looks like
Let's see.
a good trapping point.
What color are you? You are orange?
I am orange. Carl is
I'm
red.
Red.
And I think, wasn't he?
This stuff is purple, I think.
Oh, yeah, purple.
I'm green.
Put you all down somewhere. Ollie, mini free.
Well, if there is any gunfire, it should go pretty quickly.
Well, there's only 3 of you. This shouldn't be too hard. Here we go.
Yeah, the old rules, we would be here. One of us would get a shot off.
Let's see here. Somebody's with a rifle.
Well, when they added the simplified flow chart to how to interpret the main flow chart, that's when we knew we were in business.
Yeah, sure. Looks good.
Christopher, what's your dex?
90.
Hey, we're Simo.
Orange. Red. Anybody remember what color Gushov was?
Purple.
Purple.
There you are.
All right.
We'll assume you're on horses.
Yes.
So about here, you see a trail of smoke kind of coming up right about, I'm backwards. I'm not mirrored correctly. About here. I won't look at the screen.
Okay.
I see a little trail of smoke coming up. What do? You approach. You're at a cutoff angle right here. You see stone and you see stone kind of thing.
Might as well go ahead and take the corner.
Yeah.
Warily.
Okay, on horseback?
Yeah.
Okay.
In case we have to double back.
About there.
Actually, I will draw one gun in my lap and hold the reins with the other.
All right.
And I will have my pistol drawn since rifle at close range does not make sense.
As I didn't know which courses you were going to take, and that's important. Come on, Mercy. Yeah, okay. You come around here, and you see a simple pitch tent, as well as a covered wagon. You see a horse dead on the ground, and you also see another horse that is dead, caught up in the reins of the wagon.
That's not good.
You also see what appears to be right here, the openings to what appears to be a somewhat new mine.
What is it with us and mines and dead horses?
Well, at least these ones are really dead.
Yeah, there's flies about them. The corpses are somewhat bloated.
So it's been a while.
They are definitely dead horses. Right in the somewhat center is what looked like, at least at one point in time, a pretty generous sort of campfire. And what you see now is a bunch of relatively heavy sort of timber that is charred out and kind of just giving a little trail of blue smoke. This would be something that was a big fire maybe 48 hours ago, but now it's been long out and is just sort of slowly charring out right now.
All right.
Vance, this isn't the mine we're supposed to be visiting, right?
No, we're supposed to be on the other side of the canyon.
The mine had even been described to you all as it has a stream in front of it.
Yeah, this is not where we're supposed to be. But we should check this out to see if there are any survivors.
Yeah, let's see. Probably the tent is the first one. Why don't you and Gustav look at the tent? I want to look at the ground and see what's been moving around here.
All righty.
All right, you can hear you see Carl. Give me a tracking roll.
19. That is a hard success.
Hard success. Okay. There's definitely you see several different footprints. So you get the impression, at least 4 or 5. Well, you got a very good success. So let's see. You identify at least 5 separate footprints. Vance, give me a listen roll.
What is my listen? Yes, I just make it.
You just barely make it. You approach the tent. The tent flap or tent opening, whatever, is actually on the opposite side. So you're on the canvas tight in side of the tent. So the entry would be here, which kind of makes sense. It's closer to the wagon. Inside, you can literally hear some sort of moaning.
All right. I figure I will take the horse around to the wagon side and hitch my horse to the wagon in case there is a sound or something that startles the horse. I don't have to worry about the goddamn horse running away on me.
No, the GD horse is the one that's following you from a distance.
There you go. You hook up your horsey there.
All right. I figure first I would look into the wagon and then go around to the tent.
All right. You come around here. Gustav's he's wary of mines. And
I know why.
Can you blame him? And he kind of sees that. Ugh, there we go. So there's a mine going back there. And give me another listen roll, Vance.
Oh, beauty. 10. which is good, but not like, oh.
Right. You hear.
Oh no, it is.
another-
It is good. It's a critical.
Oh, okay. You hear a distinct additional moaning, if you will, also coming from the chuck wagon.
All right. Guess I'll go around to the back of the chuck wagon and take a gander in. Pistol, of course, being out.
Good thing. Somebody jumps out of the wagon, boop, and reaches for you. What's your dex?
90.
90. You get to go first. You were ready, so you get to add another 50 on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So that brings you to a 140. The smell from this person is terrible. Absolutely rank.
I wonder why.
What do you do as your initial action?
I will, of course, try to. I don't know. The person that jumps out, do they seem like they have a weapon? Do I see a weapon in a hand? Just that kind of first gauge. Because if I see a glint of a weapon, the trigger gets pulled.
Right. No. They don't appear to be armed.
Then most likely it's going to be me hopping back to get a better gauge, and then probably either strike them to the ground or shoot them.
All right. So you're right up against the sort of the canyon wall here to an extent.
Okay.
Um,
So literally I can only go behind me or backed out towards where I came around the wagon.
right. So scaling the wall is not really an option. I mean, you could,
No, but going
probably,
back around the wagon would be the way to go.
yeah, you probably could, but you probably don't want to. So you back out?
Yeah.
You come back around this way?
Yeah.
What's your move?
My move is... Where's my move? 7.
7. All right. So you move. At this point, another figure comes out of the tent, whatever the hell you call that thing. Indeed, 2 of them kind of pour out. And from the mine, three miners come starting to tumble out of the entrance of the mine. Let's see here. Yeah, that works. Christopher, what would you like to do?
Are the miners,
All 3 have pickaxes on them.
all 3 have pickaxes? Do they look, for lack of a better term, alive, or are they zombie? Going back to my experience at Gettysburg.
The smell and the noise emanating from them absolutely reminds you of Gettysburg.
All right, they're getting shot.
For your first 2 actions, you are at disadvantage.
Okay, that's -10.
No, you roll twice and take
That's
the
right.
first roll. Gustav doesn't like this either,
You can't blame him.
and he's just going to straight up start shooting.
Well, that pity
He's
the
spooked.
first zombie.
He's unnerved.
Let's see. Don't you wish everybody was with you? See? Huh?
Well, you know, if you split the party, you get more clues. Everyone knows. We all learned that during Scooby-Doo times.
You do get more clues. Blam.
But danger-prone Carl got us into trouble again.
Okay, Gustav shoots his bullets.
Do you need my dex?
Well, this is for combat rounds. I preempted your
Got it.
action. Sorry.
I see where you're going.
Yeah. So go ahead. He was just closer and had a closer view of the critters starting to come out of the mine as they
The-
the darkness of the
The
mine.
cult peacemaker, is that one attack or two attacks? I don't have that.
It depends. There is a 2 attack and there is a single shot.
So I have a double action cult peacemaker.
Yeah, so you get 2 rounds.
Yeah, you can do 2 rounds.
The first one's a 33, so disadvantage. Roll again, correct?
Yeah.
And take the worst.
Yeah.
46, but it's a 70, so I hit.
Okay, so you hit, but not hard.
No.
Okay.
1d10 plus 2.
Yep. And roll for your other one. I assume you're focusing on one until it drops.
Yep. First damage is 5. Sorry, 6. Second, 55, 68. Still hit.
All right. And damage on the second bullet.
12.
All right. You see your bullets and Gustav bullets thud all into the same guy. And the body kind of does this, hesitates for a moment, and then continues to shuffle forward.
No fair.
Not good.
That's a hell of a cliffhanger.
I think this is a perfect place for a cliffhanger. So I think we will stop here.
Join us next week when our adventurers.
That's right. Face the evils of yet another mine. Who would mine in this country? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to stop. I know. I'm sure Gustav would have loved to have been here for this, but
Hey, maybe he'll be here next week going, What do you mean there's zombies?
there's zombies and I'm 10 feet away from them. And Vance got off his fucking horse. I assume, Christopher, you were still on horse.
Yes.
Yeah, you're doing it from saddle. If you're on saddle, not riding, there's no particular disadvantage. You just don't like the whole zombie thing too much.
No.
So, and that occurs to you. Gustav has, he doesn't have that war experience. I don't think he does. And so this is probably his first encounter with that. So there might be some dice rolling that he's going to have to do. Especially since he's superstitious. That's right.
Oh, jeez.
That's going to be great for him. And Vance, have you came across these?
Zombies, no. Ghosts, yes.
All right. Give me a sand roll, please.
Sure.
Because it's called Cthulhu.
Exactly. Well, that'll tell me the first thing. All right, so I got a 63, which is a fine.
Okay. All right. You succeeded in your roll.
Yeah.
You've certainly heard rumors about this kind of crap, so I'm not going to do any sort of tough luck. You still lose a little bit kind of thing on that one.
Dead people coming back to life.
Right. You've heard this before, so now you're just sort of seeing it.
Yeah.
That's
All
not something, Marshall. That's not something that happens routinely, right? That's an exception. That's because of some dark ritual or horrible spell.
It is rumored to say there's been some research done on this. Edward, you might have come across some of this actual research. So for Edward's knowledge, if you get back to him on this, and Dr. Trout, if you want to roll a kind of science.
we could maybe go with medicine because that's where I would have encountered it in my training. Or I mean, we've all learned to react to it. And
Oh yeah, you would want to react. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, you can make a hard roll or
a
something.
Medican roll.
And then, all right, I got a 61, so I got a success, but not a hard success.
Okay, not hard success. Is this common? Were you ever trained insofar as, oh, well, whenever anybody dies, make sure that you pull out its tongue and, whatever. No, so it is clearly a very uncommon thing. Edward, from what you understand of the research on it, the dead only come back when the deaths and the overall situation is horrific.
Okay. The
So
trauma.
a battle scene, a rape scene, a scene that's deliberately. So it could certainly be in a ritual that's designed to be horrific for somebody, a torture kind of environment, perhaps, or it could be just a horrible emotional thing, right? Mother finds daughter dead floating in the lake and freaks out and kills herself. She comes back as a revenant because of her emotional distraughtness over the child, that kind of a thing. So, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. So thank you all for playing this week.